Tune in and I'll show you how to make the most delicious chocolate whoopie pies with a whipped white chocolate ganache filling. Hello friends, and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Andrea and this is Dessert First, where I prepare sweet treats and post once a week, and then that last week of the month I'll post some savory dish just to kind of keep a little balance there. So today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious chocolatey whoopie pies, and we're going to fill these with a whipped white chocolate ganache, so they're going to be very delicious. So let's get into it all right, in my bowl here I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour that I have sifted in there, and then I am going to add 1/2 cup of natural unsweetened cocoa powder. And I'm going to sift this because the cocoa powder tends to be fairly lumpy, and I don't want any lumps in my cookies. So I'm just going to kind of work that a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then we are going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. There we go. And then I'm just going to whisk this together. Just so we get the baking powder, the baking soda, and the salt all mixed in there. There we go. It doesn't take much. All right, so in my stand mixer, I've got 1 stick of room temperature butter. We're just going to put in there. And then 1 cup of regular sugar, so just regular granulated sugar. And we're going to use the paddle attachment. And we're just going to cream this together for a couple of minutes until it kind of lightens up and looks kind of airy, light and airy. So let's scrape down the bowl. And it's definitely a lighter color, so you know that it's just mixed in really well. So we're going to go ahead and add 1 large egg. We're also going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're just going to mix this until it's well incorporated. So I've got 1 cup of buttermilk here that we're going to alternate with our dry ingredients, our flour mixture. So we're just going to mix this on low, and we'll start with first. our buttermilk. Go with half of it. So we're just going to kind of scrape down the paddle a little bit and scrape the bowl down and then mix it just a little bit more. So you'll see that it's thicker than a cake batter, but looser than like a cookie dough. So you want them to be somewhat cakey. There we go. All right. Okay. So I've got my oven preheated to 375 degrees. I've got 2 sheet trays lined with parchment paper. And then I've got my medium scoop. So you can kind of see. And we are just going to scoop this up and place it on our parchment paper. And we're going to keep these a few inches apart because they are going to spread some. Probably just going to go three across. Okay, so there's 12 on that one, and then I'll do the other sheet, and looks like we're going to get quite a bit out of this batch using this scoop. So once I get them all baked off, we'll come back and I'll show you how to make the filling, and we will fill them. All right, so our whoopie pies have sat and cooled for about an hour. I let them cool on a cooling rack, and then I just went through and kind of grouped them, paired them up with mates that were about the same size. So I've just got them stacked there. Now for the whipped white chocolate ganache, filling, you are going to have to plan ahead. So you're going to want to, because you need to chill this, so you're going to want to get a cup of heavy cream in a saucepan, and you're going to heat it until it starts to boil. You're not looking for a full rolling boil. You're just looking for it to start simmering around the outer edges and maybe a bubble or two in the middle. You just want it to be hot all the way through. Then you're going to take 6 ounces of white chocolate. Don't get the chocolate bark. I just don't think that it's nearly the quality that you need. I just use the wafers, and these come 10-ounce packages, so just weigh out 6 ounces. And then you're going to pour that heavy hot cream onto your chocolate. Let it set for a minute so it can really melt it. Give it a stir, and then cover it and put it in the fridge. You need at least 6 hours, if not longer. So I just made this the night before, and it's chilled completely. So, and you can see it's still kind of, you know, it's runny, and that's what you want because we're going to whip this. So let's dump this into our stand mixer here. And I went on ahead and chilled the metal bowl of my mixer just with some cold water, and then I wiped it out. You could put it in the freezer. I just didn't have room in my freezer, so just getting it really cold. That'll just help your whipped cream to get whipped faster. So okay. And then I'm just going to use the whisk attachment, and we're just going to whisk this until it's thickened. Okay, it is getting thicker, but I wanted to give this a good stir on the bottom just to get that at the very bottom that won't get in there. And you can see it's getting better, but it's still really thin. So we're just going to keep at it. And I've got it turned up to between 8 and 10. All right, let's see how we're doing here. It's getting closer. So we're just going to go just a tiny bit longer. Okay. There we go. So it's a stiff peak. So that's really what you're looking for. Okay. Set that there. Now I baked these, I don't remember if I told you, I baked them. They bake between 8 and 10 minutes, and mine went for the full 10. So just depending on your oven. So we're just going to take a little bit, and I'm just using a little offset spatula for this. And just put a little bit on there. Maybe a little bit more. Just like that. Just sandwich them together. A little bit gushes on the outside, that's fine. So these are somewhere between a little cake and a cookie. So they're kind of fluffy since they kind of domed up. Slightly cake-like. Now it's going to depend how many cookies you get by what size scoop you use. Since I used not the tiny one, but what I would consider the medium one. I got, I want to say about, let's see. $34. So I got 34 cookies. Out of it. And that's 34 together. So that would be, what, 68 total cookies. Just like so. These would make a really delicious treat for an after-school snack, or if you're taking something to work or to another event, or just gifting some cookies to someone. Maybe somebody loves chocolate. So they get a double dose between the regular chocolate and then the white chocolate ganache in there. So, all right, I'm going to finish all those up later, but we've got a plate right here already together. So I hope you like this recipe. If you want to see more like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button, like it, share it, comment. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Until next time, friends, see ya.